John Burness. I am a composer and performance poet. But today I'm going to do something a little different than usual, just for altruistic purposes and to enhance the life of my fellow guitar enthusiasts. I am here to give a brief guitar lesson of the intro, roughly the first 30 seconds of a very, very beautiful work of guitar, seriously underappreciated, under the radar, by a pretty phenomenal acoustic guitarist historically, named John Fahey. He was born in 1939 and died in 2001. He was a acoustic guitarist, fingerstyle. Wrote many books on the history of the acoustic guitar. He put out many albums. There are many songs of his that have survived. And he primarily, what I feel his main contribution to the guitar is that he gave it a very spiritual seriousness to the guitar in a way that I don't feel that was certainly never done before, and maybe not even since, because not only did he give the guitar a spiritual seriousness to it, his followers and his students, his listeners, really felt that with him and heard it in his guitar playing. And I feel that's kind of a lost cause on the guitar now. There's a few people today that are doing it, like William Ackerman, but nobody has really been able to take guitar playing and put it on a spiritual level and make it reach a large audience and loyal audience like John Fahey has. So what some people would describe as his magnum opus is this song that we're going to do. It is titled Transcendental Waterfall. The full song is roughly 10 minutes long. And there is no lessons of it available online, not even any tablature available. So I had to learn this by myself primarily. And I have pretty much got down the first 30 seconds. And I feel it's a very beautiful thing I could probably offer to just people interested in acoustic guitar. So I am going to now teach you how to play the first 30 seconds or the first section of Transcendental Waterfall by John Fahey. First and foremost, my tuning is different. I'm tuned a half step down. So it's, which is in the grand scheme not a very unorthodox tuning at all. Many wonderful guitar players use it, primarily Jimi Hendrix. Stevie Ray and Buckethead uses it quite a lot for his acoustic stuff. That's a Buckethead song, All in the Waiting, for example. So yeah, you just tune it a half step. It's the same as a normal standard tuned guitar, except one semitone down from normal. For those that are not too familiar with half step down tuning. So with that out of the way, let's get to the song. I already played the first section of it, so let's separate this into little increments. So first we're gonna do. So the most common occurrence, most common note you will find in this is this open, normally D string, but because of the tuning, it's a C sharp note. But I think I'm going to keep referring to it as its normal string name. Like this will be an E, this will be a G, but even though the notes are different, I'm going to refer to it by its normal string name to prevent confusion and to maintain simplicity. So you are going to start with an open D string, and below all that notes, all those open notes, you're going to do this melody on the high E. And with this melody, every other note, every two notes, you're going to play that open D string. And you go from the high E string 12th fret 2 times to the 10th fret, 12th fret again, to the 10th fret. And then you're going to find this sort of Hawaiian bend technique that you're going to find in the rest of the song. So what you're going to do is this next section, which I will play. In the original song, he strums it, but I think it sounds prettier plucked. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the D string open, and you're going to take the 11th fret of the B string and bend it 1 note up. And a great way to practice this is to match the notes with fretting it. So if you go hammer onto the 12th fret and bend it afterwards, it's a great way to know if you're doing it correctly. You'll learn pretty quickly that way. So you're going to bend the 11th fret of the B string high up right after the open D. You hit the open D again. And then you hit the 10th fret of the high E. And then you just repeat those 2 notes. One more time. So altogether we should be at actually you don't repeat, sorry, I really fucked up. Don't repeat that, only 1 time. And then you do something a little weird, a little unorthodox, and you take the D string, the D string 9th fret, and bend that up a half step. So what would sound note-wise like this, you bend up to it. So you hit it by itself 1 time, and then you do the high E string 10th fret with it. So by itself it goes. And then you do something very simple after that abnormality, and you do a sort of half of a G chord, which is just open D, open G, 3rd fret of the B, 3rd fret of the high E. And you just hit it 3 times. I'll say it again. In the original recording, it sounds like he's strumming it. I think that sounds a little sloppy. I think to give it that really spiritual, really classical, to maximize that Andreas Segovia kind of feel, I like to pluck it with various dynamics. So let's do that section. So now let's do this first section all together. And the great thing is the hardest part of the song is already, the hardest part of this lesson is already over with, which is transitioning from, at least for me, that's the hardest part. So, and I think for most people that would be too. So the hardest part is over with. Let's do it one more time, actually. do the second half of this, and that's going to sound like this. So the second half of that is a lot longer than the first one, but it's a lot easier. So I feel it is okay to do it a much longer section because it's easier, a lot easier. So you're going to do the exact same thing. The first 4 notes, the first melody is the exact same as what we already did. You actually don't need to do that. You don't need to do that first note, that first open. So in the original recording, he goes. So after that last section, that's actually more accurate, but I think it sounds a little more beautiful and cascadey when I do that open D, so that's optional. So then you hit the open D, do that same bend on the 11th fret of the B string, open D, and then the 10th fret of the 10th fret of the high E. And we do this 2 times. And the second time, we hit the open the exact same time as the bend. When the first time it's right after each other. And then the rest of this is very easy. All you do is do this exact melody. Just do this a few times so you can get feel for it. And then you take your 2 fingers that you're doing this with, take these 2 fingers and slide them down 2 frets. Two frets. So instead of 11 and 10, you're at 9 and 8. And you do that exact same melody. You're doing exactly the same thing as this. But just place these 2 fingers 2 frets down. So we're doing this now. And take your 2 fingers and put them down and place them down 1 fret. So now we are at the 8th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the high E. I think I'm in tune. So let's do this second section already, what we've done so far. Sorry about that. It's really essential to get this melody, to get that really in your veins, because it'll make the rest of this so easy to do. And then we're going to take this position that we've been doing, been cascading down, and we're going to do it 1 fret down again. So my middle finger is on the 7th fret of the B string, and my index is on the 6th fret of the high E. And then we're going to do something, again, that's a little unorthodox, because we're actually changing the tempo. We're slowing down by quite a lot. So this is what the transition itself looks like. Then you hit the open D string, then you bend on the 7th fret of the B. All of the bends are going to be only a half step up, so really good to train your ear that way. So let's do, and this time, instead of, we're going to hit that open D every other note. So we're going to do open D, bend only slightly on the 7th fret of the high B, open D again, and then pluck the 6th fret of the high E. And it's roughly 70 beats per minute. So it's a lot slower than what we've been doing. Again, I'll do the time thing because that will mess with your head for a little bit, especially if you're rather new to the guitar. If you've been playing guitar for less than a year, it's going to probably get to your head. So it'll do, in this sequence, we're going to do this 3 times. And we're going to do that exact same melody, exact same thing we've been doing. Then we're going to take our 2 fingers and put them 1 step down again. My middle finger is going 1 fret down from the 7th fret to the 6th fret on the B string. And my index is going from the 6th fret of the high E to the 5th fret of the high E. And we're doing that exact same open, bend, open, pluck. Open, bend B, open, pluck E. And again, 3 times on that position. So altogether it's, and what's really great about this song and a lot of John Fahey's works is it has this, what I call little wing effect, which is this phenomenon I've noticed that a lot of the greatest guitar players think that Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix is one of the best riffs, is because it's so tempo free that it invites the guitar player to add their own elements to it. It makes it easy for that. And that's exactly true with this piece. Notice how I'm kind of altering how many times I'm doing this. Sometimes I change that up to 3 times to 4 times, and this is a very inviting song to do that. It's a very improvisation-friendly song, so that's what's so wonderful about this song and why I highly encourage you to learn the rest of it, because it's so open to learning. It's so open to add your own little tricks to it. So it's ADHD friendly, I guess, in that regard. So we're going to do... And for this part of the song, we're going to finish off with a normal open E string, which goes open E, 2nd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the 2nd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D string, 1st fret on the G, open no fretting on the B, and no fretting on the high E. And this is the exact same affair as the G chord, is that he seems to be very, very playfully, loosely strumming it. And I add my own twist to this. This is my twist. I think to get that really beautiful, like I say, Segovia-like classical thing, is I pluck it, but in a very subtle way. This takes a little bit of getting used to if you're playing with a pick. This takes probably a few weeks or a few months of practicing. So I pluck the B and the high E together, and at the same time, I'm hitting the A string. But after that, I'm plucking the same two strings, B and high E, but I'm doing it now with the D string. And then I'm doing the B and the E, plucking it by itself, and then doing it with the G string. So I'm going to play those two by themselves, but with these notes. To me, that sounds so much more beautiful and majestic than... There's nothing wrong with that, but I think when I'm doing this, I'm maximizing that John Fahey attitude to the guitar, that very spiritual, his very, very deep knowledge of the history of the guitar, the ethnicity of the guitar, by studying it in so many different cultures, Delta blues, Russia, combining all these cultural elements of the guitar by doing that, by playing it the very classical kind of way. So let's play the entire second section. So, without further ado, let's play the entire thing again with everything that I've shown you. So that is my in-depth lesson of the first section, the first 30 seconds roughly of Transcendental Waterfall by John Fahey. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I highly encourage you to go check out the song. It is astonishingly beautiful, and to learn the rest of the song yourself, because the most important thing is it has that little wing effect. It is very easy to take that song and add your own elements because it's so spacious. So yep, I hope you learned a thing or two about guitar, and please check out Transcendental Waterfall, and thank you very much.